So now we would like to begin a JICA Clean City Initiative JCCI International Seminar 2024 program for the Green Stage. I will be serving as an MC this morning. I am Yamada from the Secretariat. Thank you for having me. So the first title is Industry Academia Government Collaboration. By leveraging Japanese products and technologies as well as our experience, JICA wishes to take environmental measures in major cities of the developing countries, solve issues, and contribute to sustainable development. Towards that end, collaboration and cooperation of the Japanese government, environment agency, and local governments who will be speaking here today is essential. There are model projects by the Japanese government, as well as many examples where cities are jointly tackling environmental issues. Also, technologies used in solving those issues will require collaboration of the private sector. All parties need to cooperate by leveraging respective strengths. In this session, Environment Agency, Yokohama City, and Kitakyushu City will introduce their initiatives and share expectations and insights to JICA. The first speaker is from Ministry of Environment, Director for Sustainable Infrastructure, Mr. Yoshinori Suga. This session will be followed by City of Yokohama, Director of Development Cooperation Department, International Affairs Bureau, Mr. Noriaki Yokouchi, and City of Kitakyushu, Director of International Environmental Strategies Division, Ms. Emiko Murakami. After we hear from the speakers, we have time for Q&A. During the presentation, feel free to enter your questions in the chat box for those listening via Zoom. In doing so, please write your name and your affiliation as well. Those at the venue, please write down on the question form and raise your hand so that our staff will be able to collect them. So, Suga-san, please. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At a Ministry of Environment, I am in charge of international cooperation such as environmental policy and environmental infrastructure. I am Suga. I am in charge of promoting infrastructure. So now the world is faced with three crises such as climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. So not only national level initiatives by the central government, we recognize the need for initiatives at various levels. And in terms of climate change, cities are gaining traction. Given this backdrop, at MOEJ, we have started to support city-to-city international cooperation. We are helping in a global scale to help realize sustainable cities. So today, I'd like to give you some examples as I share with you initiatives at MOEJ. So at the very beginning, heat wave, drought, forest fires, and storm, flood, and changes in the ecosystem. I'm sure that you actually hear or feel the impact from climate change day in and day out. Last year, IPCC, the sixth assessment report was issued last year. And in order to control the temperature rise by 1.5%, it is necessary to achieve immediate, deep, rapid, and sustained reductions in global GHG emissions. And in order to avoid loss and damage from climate change, we need to have emission path of the world turned to on track. 198 countries gathered together at COP28 last year, and they called for immediate action towards realization of 1.5 and peak out by 2025, and emission reduction in all gas and all sectors. And all these were included in the decision statement. More and more cities are generating GHG emissions, and it has reached about 70% of the world emission. And this is a major issue for the world. And at the same time, it's a good opportunity to reduce GHG significantly. So there are some specific examples to reduce emission, such as eco-friendly transportation, improvement of resource utilization, and creation of compact cities. So these are some of the strategies. And putting these strategies in mind, there are more cities in the world which has come up with climate targets on their own, including net zero. So initiatives and development of each city will determine the reduction of GHG and climate crisis, which means that cities can play a major role in climate change. So, at the very beginning of this event, it was mentioned that what's important in cities is sustainability. Apart from climate change, there are many issues faced by cities. However, it is important for cities to have an ownership and solve issues responsibly and realize sustainable city. So, by using local talents, food, water, resources, and energy, cities are expected to solve environmental, societal, economic issues through their decarbonization effort. Paris Agreement was adopted in 2015, and in the same year, a 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development was adopted as well. And it has 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets. It is analyzed that out of 169, 105 targets are deeply related to communities and cities. So the decision statement of COP28, it encouraged international cooperation and the exchange of views and experience among non-party stakeholders at the local, subnational, national, and regional levels. Instead of one city working on its own, related parties should exchange views and learn from each other and cooperate in their initiatives. In the side event of COP28, MOU was signed between Vietnam's Baria Vung Tau province and Sakai City of Japan. This is a good example of a city-to-city international cooperation. Whereas in Japan, towards 2050 net zero is a model of decarbonization domino, we have selected decarbonization leading areas in order to achieve net zero power consumption in households and businesses. With this initiative, in farm villages, fishing villages in the islands and urban areas, we're trying to improve the living quality and realize decarbonization. So we're trying to solve local issues at the same time. Right now, 74 cities and local communities have been selected. In addition, other cities, many cities in Japan have declared CO2 net zero by 2050. So these experiences by the Japanese cities, no doubt, will become good references for global cities. in their effort to decarbonize. So against this backdrop at MOEJ, we are supporting Japanese and overseas cities collaboration called C2 City a Collaboration Program, C3P. In this program, not only cities, but there are participants from private sector and other related parties to share knowledge about decarbonization and discussion about problem solutions. For cities, partner cities, there are benefits such as putting together plans and systems necessary for decarbonization, improving capacity of staff, establishing network, and promotion of investment. While these parties get together, these cooperation necessary for decarbonization could be delivered in a package. So this project started in 2013 and up to now, mainly in Asian countries, 13 countries, 49 cities and regions, and from Japan, 20 cities are participating in this program. We're seeing a lot of participants from Southeast Asian countries such as Vietnam and Indonesia, but we also see participants from Maldives, India, Palau, and Chile. So we do expect more and more countries and cities to participate in this project. So as a result of this initiative, um, some have led to MOEJ's support project, private sector projects, and ODA projects. The other day, I visited Along Bay in Quang Ninh province of Vietnam. A septic tank was installed and were contributing to water quality improvement. In addition, PV efficiency AC are being introduced and realizing joint credit mechanism, JCM. There are many projects that have been realized through this effort.
An example of a city-to-city partnership project is the cooperation between the state of Airai in Palau and the city of Urasoe in Japan. In Airai state, most power is provided by diesel, and with the Palauan government's goal of transitioning 100% of electricity to renewable energy, the challenge was how to promote the use of renewable energy. Here, together with Urasoe City, consulting firms and electric power-related businesses are participating, which is investigating the installation of third-party owned solar power generation and storage batteries and the introduction of tiltable wind turbine technology. Okinawa Electric Power has experience in achieving 100% renewable power generation on Hateruma Island for about 10 days. It is expected that this experience will be utilized in this cooperation. Tiltable wind turbines. Maybe you're not familiar with this, but this is where you can lay the turbine down sideways, allowing maintenance to be performed on the ground, significantly reducing maintenance costs and wind turbine downtime. Also, during typhoons, the turbine can be secured to the ground to protect it from the storm. The equipment itself is lightweight and can be easily transported and installed even in places such as remote islands. Now, MOE and the JICA uh, launched the C2P2 to provide broad-based collaborative support for the challenges faced by cities around the world, such as climate change, pollution, and circular economy. This was started February 2023. It aims to provide comprehensive support for the challenges faced by cities with the participation of Japanese local governments, private companies, financial institutions, in collaboration with MDBs and other organizations. In addition to the city-to-city collaboration project, MOE is involved in various initiatives such as the African Clean Cities Platform, the Japan Credit Mechanism, and the AIM, which supports long-term strategies for decarbonizations. Similarly, various initiatives are being undertaken by institutions in Japan and abroad. We will connect those efforts and accelerate the resolution of urban issues. Last June, we signed an extension of our Memorandum of Understanding uh, with ADB on environmental cooperation, which included our commitment to work with the ADB on cooperation on the implementation of C2P2. Here is some explanation of the joint credit mechanism that Japan is promoting. JCAM helps to diffuse superior decarbonization technologies, products, systems, services, and infrastructure, and its implementation measures that helps to reduce and absorb GHGs and thereby contributes to sustainable development. MOE is supporting the introduction of outstanding technologies which would generate JCM credits for the contributions made. Specifically, generally speaking, while superior technologies contribute to GHG reduction, their high cost is an impediment that prevents their widespread use. Under this JCM, MOE provides financial support to lower the cost of introduction. Carbon credits will be issued based on the emission reductions realized, and that will be distributed between the partner country and Japan. One of the financial support schemes offered by the Ministry of the Environment, MOE, is the JCM Model Project Finance Program. Under this project, decarbonization facilities that reduce GHGs will be introduced in JCM partner countries, and measurement reporting and verification MRV will be conducted. For such projects, subsidy of up to half of the initial investment cost will be provided. Funds will be dispersed to a Japanese company that is the representative entity of the international consortium, which would include non-Japanese companies and entities. Another funding scheme is the ADB Japan Fund for JCM. MOE has been contributing funds to the Japan Fund for JCM, established at the Asian Development Bank ADB since 2014 to promote advanced decarbonization and other technologies in the ADB's portfolio. By reducing the additional costs of advanced decarbonization technologies, this fund contributes to the diffusion and expansion of advanced decarbonization technologies in Asia and promotes JCM project formation. The scheme targets ADB projects and is intended to ensure that advanced decarbonization technologies are implemented in ADB projects. This shows the total number of JCM projects. With 28 current partner countries, we have 236 projects in total. The projects are concentrated in Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam, the Southeast Asian countries, but we also have projects in Africa, South Asia, Pacific Island countries, and Latin America. We will continue to expand the project coverage. There's a wide variety of JCM project types. So some examples: facilities producing renewable energy, including solar power, small hydropower, biomass boilers, geothermal power, and wind power. Also, under the category of high efficiency energy saving equipment, we would have high efficiency chillers, LED streetlights, high efficiency transformers, high efficiency cell phone base stations. Also, waste power generation is an area where MOE is exerting a lot of effort. One recent example: a large-scale waste-to-energy facility was constructed in Bac Ninh province in Vietnam with the support of the JCM financing program, and a completion ceremony was held last month. The power generation facility is expected to incinerate 500 tons of waste per day and generate about 12 megawatts of power, thereby reducing greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 40,000 tons of CO2 per year. This project is expected to improve waste management in Vietnam. Now, another example of JFJCM. In June 2023, a geothermal power project in Patuha, West Java, Indonesia was approved as a project utilizing the JFJCM. The Japan Fund will be used to introduce technologies to improve the efficiency of power generation at the Patuha power plant, and it will also control performance degradation. Specifically, there's predictive diagnosis of abnormalities using IoT and AI, and high-efficiency steam turbines will be introduced. MOE and ADB will continue to work with the government of Indonesia to promote the project. Another example, in 2018, under the Japan Fund for JCM, an advanced high-efficiency transmission line project between Barisal and Gopalganj in southwest Bangladesh was approved. This is a project utilizing the Japan Fund. And the high-temperature, low-sagging wires, HTLS wires, with low transmission loss on the Barisal Gopalganj section of the project will be installed to strengthen the power grid in southwestern Bangladesh. As the world now faces three crises: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, the role of cities, which account for a large part of the world's population, is critical. The Ministry of the Environment will cooperate with JICA and other Japanese local governments and various entities to achieve global cooperation for the realization of sustainable cities. Thank you for your attention.
Mr. Suga, thank you very much. He introduced three crises, and cities are at the center of the issues. City Partnership Program, C2P2, and the JCM by credit mechanisms were introduced. So thank you very much indeed. Let us now move on to Mr. Yokouchi's presentation. Please, Mr. Yokouchi. Today, I would like to talk about achieving smart cities in decarbonization through public-private partnerships and city alliances. And I will explain the experience of the city of Yokohama. And I am, once again, Yokouchi from the International Affairs Bureau of the city of Yokohama. Let's move on to the next page. The population of Yokohama City is 3.77 million, so it is a large city. And in the 1850s, we opened up the Yokohama port. We have been faced with various issues, but we have overcome those issues as we developed as a city. Next page, please. After World War II, we had an increase in population starting in 1952 over 30 years. Our population went from 1 million to approximately 3 million, so that is threefold. So that was the increase in population. And the speed of that increase is, in fact, more than the growth that is seen in the major cities in the Asian region. Next page. So with the rapid increase of population and economic growth, as you can see from these pictures, there were traffic congestions, and we had issues around housing development, air pollution, flooding, as well as issues around waste, various serious city related, urbanization related issues were experienced. So, moving on. Now, in order to cope with these problems, Yokohama City developed its infrastructure. If you can take a look at this graph, in red is describing the increase in population, and in light blue line, you can see we developed water supply, and the lower blue line shows our development of the sewage system. So we rapidly developed these systems, road systems, municipal subways, etc. were worked on gradually. Moving on to the next slide. With this infrastructure development, the city has turned into a good living environment so that the population can live their lives safely and with a sense of security. We have been always a port city, and therefore we have imported culture and people from outside Japan. We have been open, and so therefore we become a global hub for overseas businesses and are being selected as a city for that purpose. Further moving on. So far, I have described the issues that we've overcome, and through this challenge, the city has gained knowledge and experience in this, and the private companies also have developed technologies related to solving those issues. And so Yokohama City, based on this precious experience and know-how, considers it as a strength of the city and hopes to contribute in the area of international cooperation and development of infrastructure in developing nations. And we've called that the Y Port Center, which started in 2011. The Yokohama Partnership of Resources and Technologies, in short, it's called Y Port. And let me explain about this now, Y Port business. Let's move on to the next page. Here is the implementation structure of YPort. In the yellow diagram are the core members who work very closely with one another. The businesses that are located in Yokohama or head office located in Yokohama, and then the City Net Yokohama office, CYO. We have more than 100 cities in Asia, in fact, are members of this organization. And then there's YUSA, which is a business group. And I'll explain further on the next page, but we are working closely with these businesses as well. And there's also JICA and the World Bank, Asia Development Bank, who we individually have signed a comprehensive agreement for partnership in order to move the Y-Port project forward. Next page, please. This is regarding YUSA, so let me introduce YUSA a little bit. Again, Yokohama Urban Solution Alliance is what it is, and it was established in 2017. Together with Yokohama City, we've tackled city or urbanization issues in developing nations, and there are companies who are looking into this matter. So they are the members of YUSA. They're working on waste and recycling, water, energy, engineering, etc. So various businesses are represented in this alliance. Now, YUSA signed a cooperation agreement with Yokohama City in 2017 and have bridged the municipality and the public companies. Moving on to the next page. A little bit more about YUSA. The member companies' network is being utilized by USA, and in the 3 regions in the Southeast Asian area, we have established 3 offices. And by utilizing these offices, the USA member companies are being supported as they expand their business outside Japan. And not just that, together with Yokohama City, there are non-member companies who are being supported through things like coordination in the local areas. Further moving on. Here, I will talk about the specific examples of the Y port business. Here, as you can see, there are 3 activities that are being worked on. First is encouraging and strengthening city-to-city collaboration. Second is collaborating with local businesses. And third is spreading and sharing information internationally. I will now talk about each one of these. So moving on to the next slide. This is the first area, encouraging and strengthening city-to-city collaboration. There are 3 regions shown here. And in the Y Port project, these are cities that we are working on very closely with. In 2012, Cebu in the Philippines, and then Da Nang in Vietnam, and Bangkok in Thailand. We have, in fact, assigned a memorandum of cooperation specifically with these countries. And based on this, the master plan for urban development have been worked on so that we can continue working with these cities to overcome urbanization issues. So city-to-city collaboration. Specific example will be explained on the next page. This is about the cooperation with companies in Yokohama. The city master plan are being supported for its development. We understand priorities, so companies can in fact use their technologies to support this. And working with JICA and the Yokohama City schemes, they can in fact roll out their businesses and demonstrations. And then administrative organizations and public or private companies may give business to these companies, and we have seen 24 specific orders being received by the companies. In Bangkok, a local company has implemented a solar panel facility through the JCM scheme of the Ministry of the Environment. And IT equipment recycling is done by one company. They have established an overseas office. And then in Da Nang, the pump facility in a water treatment facility, it was upgraded again through the JCM scheme. And later, the Ho Chi Minh water supply organization made an inquiry, and a similar project was carried out there. Now, moving on to the lower part in Cebu, the sludge treatment plant work was very well accepted, and the project that started, a similar project was started elsewhere, and a company from Yokohama has established a recycling plant for waste plastic. 50 people, local people, are hired. They're running the plant to manage the waste in Cebu and making that contribution. We'll move on to the next page. In the Y Port project, this is the third area, which is international presence. Every year at Yokohama, the city conducts the Asia Smart City Conference. Cities in Asia, as well as parties from within Japan as outside Japan, talk about economy and the development of cities and achieving a good balance between that. That's the discussion that we hold. And through these discussions, Y-Port good practices are being shared and communicated, and is attracting attention from cities outside Japan, and we are connecting that to further private and public partnership. Here are examples of commercialization of projects assisted by Y-Port. Today's material will be shared in the form of a PDF file from the event homepage. So the details will not be shared with you. So I will skip this. And if you can take a look at this, if you are interested in it later, please, let's move on. Once again, I will talk about the three areas and the first pillar for the Y-Port activity, which is again city-to-city collaboration. And so I would like to go a little bit further into this. This is the city-to-city collaboration that we're working on with Da Nang City. In 2020, I believe two rather than 2023, March of 2022, it was the first city in Vietnam who announced its goal of achieving a carbon neutrality by 2050. In 2018, Yokohama City also became the first municipality in Japan to announce achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. So in Da Nang City and Yokohama City, we are both leading efforts towards decarbonization, and the cooperation, therefore, is seen between the two cities. The formation of JCM projects are being achieved for the Ministry of Economy, and we're promoting city-to-city collaboration projects. And Yokohama JICA USA member companies are working together to conduct surveys and technical cooperation on energy conservation, waste, and sewage treatment. Next, this is the city-to-city collaboration in Metro Cebu. I today would like to focus on Da Nang. So if you can read this later, I'd be very happy. Let's move on. Here again, we have an example of the city-to-city collaboration in Bangkok, but today I will skip this and go further on in my presentation. So the specific efforts being made in Da Nang for the city-to-city collaboration. Just last month in Da Nang, we had the 12th Da Nang Urban Development Forum. And the Yokohama City and Da Nang City co-hosted this. The Da Nang Urban Development Forum started in 2013 between Yokohama City, Da Nang City, and JICA. And every year it has taken place in either Yokohama or in Da Nang. And we have continued this up until now. We are trying to discuss how to overcome the issues of urbanization in Da Nang.
So this time, there were meetings held remotely because of COVID-19. Therefore, it was after 5 years that we were able to meet face-to-face in Da Nang. So the businesses and the related parties, their interests, we were concerned how their interests were changing. However, those local companies in Yokohama, 7 of them, and if we include other companies, then there were more than 15 companies from Japan which attended this meeting. So there were more than 60 Japanese participants. So we realized how the interests among these related parties were high. And also there is a cooperation framework between the two cities. And under this framework, we have 4 themes, and we discussed accordingly: industrial park, solid waste management, smart city development, SDGs, and VLRs. So with the related organizations and the businesses from Japan. They proposed solutions for Da Nang and also confirmed how we can go about realizing the solutions. Moving on. So these were some of the solutions proposed at the forum. Working with Da Nang University and with academia, industry, and the government, there were joint solutions being offered. And there were a lot of discussions. And as a part of a forum, a business matching seminar was held. USA and Da Nang Young Business Association got together to co-organize, and with the help of MOEJ, we were able to hold this seminar. So not only a solution proposals, but proposals to the private sector companies in Da Nang was carried out as well. So in multi-layer manner, deepening the collaboration and thereby lead to solutions of the local needs. That's what we're trying to do. And from here onwards, I'd like to talk about the third pillar, the third area of YPort project. So this is about disseminating information and communication. So I'd like to talk about Asia Smart City Conference. So this photo is from the 12th Asia Smart City Conference that was held in November of last year. It was a 3-day conference, and there were more than 2,000 people attending face-to-face. And in terms of number of countries, there were more than 50. Moving on. So, at Yokohama City, for the sustainable development of cities, green transformation GX and decarbonization, we realize that these are extremely important challenges. So, well, this is an issue that we have to tackle through global cooperation. Therefore, back in April last year, Mayor became a board member of Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy. And through these efforts, we are driving collaboration globally. So with Bangkok City, with the governor Chachat of Bangkok, we have support from 43 cities, and we have declared Yokohama Declaration. So with World Bank, ADB, and from other organizations, there were more than 100 people attending. And we discussed about urban development and exchanged in exchanges with the businesses. This is a slide regarding a joint declaration that we issued at this forum. Please take a look later on. So working with related organizations, we hosted and held various sessions. Moving on to the next slide. So green transformation, this was a main topic, and business pitch and booth exhibitions were organized, and we had local companies as well as startups at this forum. Next, please. With the help of JICA, we held sessions so that we can develop the next generation of people. So at this meeting, we had a site tour, and more than 100 participants from invited cities went on this tour. We had 4 courses, for instance, from the Japanese government, those cities that have been certified as decarbonization leading area. One of them is Minato Mirai 21 district. So this district explained about their efforts, and also sewage treatment plant and sludge recycling facility in one of the ward, Tsurumi ward. We showcased the technologies there. So up to this point, through Whiteport project, I have been explaining about how we are communicating and disseminating our expertise and knowledge in this area. So finally, in 2027, 3 years from now, we are planning to hold a Green Expo 2027. So I'd like to talk about this expo. So from Yokohama, GX, as well as beyond that, new city profile are some of the messages that we would like to deliver. So I'd like to show you a 4-minute video to foster your understanding. So this will be an English video. So if necessary, please pick up your translation device.
37 years on since the Expo 1990 Osaka, Japan will host an A1 category international horticultural exhibition. As the country's 7th BIE recognized expo, it will be hosted in the Tokyo metropolitan area for the first time. Its highly anticipated main theme, Scenery of the Future for Happiness. In an era of intensifying global warming, when many people around the world are becoming acutely aware of our planetary boundaries, we're beginning to explore fulfilling future lifestyles. That's exactly why through this expo, we aim to showcase Japan's deep appreciation of nature and refined aesthetic sense, the beauty of a life abundant with flowers and greenery, all while contributing to the creation of sustainable regions and economies and solving social issues. That is a new Green Expo. The world is currently striving to stem greenhouse gas emissions and achieve carbon neutrality, while restoring biodiversity with a nature-positive roadmap. To realize these goals, nature-based solutions are being called upon, which leverage nature as a means of solving problems. Concepts like these present methodologies for us to deepen our understanding of nature and plants, the foundation of the Earth's environment, and allow us to live into tomorrow as a part of an integrated system upon it. Within the vast natural preserves of Kamiseya, we will host a top-tier horticultural expo, offering a palette of first-hand experiential solutions that leverage plant resources. City of Yokohama, the venue for the expo, has been the gateway to Japan since its port opening, driving economic growth. From here, Japan's plants have also spread to the world. The city has made its zero-carbon Yokohama declaration, aiming for decarbonization by 2050, and as such, is advancing the creation of decarbonization innovations. On this soil, through Green Transformation, or GX, we aim to showcase a new Yokohama Japan societal model and expand the realm of possibilities GX can spread to the world along with our partners. This is the Green Expo. We will present some of these optimal futuristic solutions via prototypes. Through the power of nature, embodying scenery of the future for happiness, from Yokohama, we'll make it loud and clear for the rest of Japan and the whole world. We aim to breathe life into the Expo's theme via our cooperative initiative of villages. Urban GX, Craft, Kids, Farm and Food, and Satoyama. 5 distinct villages will be collaboratively co-created through a plethora of initiatives to to serve as showcases of a green society while offering exciting new experiences to visitors. To make our Green Expo everything it can be, we all need to chip in. Every aspiration, every bit of wisdom, and every shared effort counts. Together, let's bring scenery of the future for happiness into crisp focus. Come March 2027. Here's looking forward to sharing smiles and laughter when we gather in Kamiseya, Yokohama.
Thank you very much. So, through a whiteboard project, the experiences of Yokohama as well as technology of companies, how to adapt to this new world. That's what we have been doing. And going forward, the new city profile, along with partner cities, we would like to discuss together. So this Green Expo, so that we can discuss about these topics along with the partner cities. I hope this will become a good opportunity to do that. So regarding whiteboard, that will be all. But finally, just one slide that I would like to show you. In Ukraine, this is an aid to Ukraine. Odessa city in Ukraine is a sister city. Both port cities for Odessa and Yokohama, and we have revitalized ourselves from war, and the sister city relationship is in place for 60 years. And before the invasion by Russia, in water and waste, whether or not cooperation can be provided by Yokohama was requested by Odessa City. And with a whiteboard project, we had companies in mind, so we had focused on Asian countries, so we thought it would be challenging. However, JICA's technical cooperation, they have project in waste, and also for water, they have been providing financial aid. So we thought that if we engage with JICA, perhaps we could do something. And we were discussing about this, and in fact, online meetings were held like 4 times. However, right after that, Russia invaded Ukraine, unfortunately. So there has been urgent humanitarian aid. We are, as a sister city, helping Ukraine out, so providing mobile water purifiers and winter clothes, and Jinchi Engineering has provided 11 purifiers, and including what we purchased, a total of 30 purifiers have been sent. And it was for use in emergency, and with a planned downtime, they had no access to tap water. So as you can see in the picture, they're using purifiers to provide water to the residents. And number 2, this is registered as a World Heritage, and because of the bombing, this kindergarten has been affected, and it is going through restoration. Working with citizens and companies in Yokohama, we're considering how we can restore this facility. And number 3 is Sansei Corporation is renting medical containers, and it has medical devices, and this time Sansei has decided to install CT on this medical containers. So Yokohama with Odessa City, we are coordinating with the city for the delivery of this container. Number four, this is about reconstruction of infrastructure. So there was a request from the city to rely on our technical expertise. And we have exchanged MOU so that we can help them out. Once the war is over, we can put together the plan for reconstruction. So White Port project as well as aid to Ukraine. I've talked about at a high level 2 topics. So that will conclude my presentation. And regarding Y Port project from this QR code, you will be able to access to get some information. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Yokouchi. So that was the public-private alliance and city collaboration and exporting the knowledge of Yokohama City. The platform for that, YPort initiative was explained, and some video was used to make it even easier to understand. In terms of collaboration with JICA, there was the climate change master plan for Bangkok, and so climate change support to Thailand. And the video of that has been prepared by JICA, and that will be aired during lunchtime. Please watch that video as well. Next, from Kita-Kyushu City, we have Ms. Murakami. Thank you for the introduction. I'm from the city of Kita-Kyushu, International Environmental Strategies Division Director. My name is Murakami. I'm very thankful for this opportunity to present the initiatives of the city of Kita-Kyushu. Today, I'd like to talk about our effort to combat the global climate change and our overseas deployment through city-to-city collaboration. Next slide. Go back one. First, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to Kita-Kyushu City. The city of Kita-Kyushu is located in western Japan, northern part of Kyushu, halfway between Shanghai and Tokyo. So, city of Kita-Kyushu has these geographical attributes and has developed as an industrial city. Also, it has abundant natural environment and branded foodstuffs. So it's a city where nature and industry coexist in harmony, and that is what we are aiming for in town development. So Yahata Steelworks was established in 1901. Since then, Kita-Kyushu has developed as one of the leading industrial cities in Japan. So in the blue stage, there is another presentation from Miyazaki-san. So with the rapid development of industry, serious pollution issue occurred. And so the actors who first took the initiative were the Women's Association and other citizens in the city. This fight against the pollution, that kind of civil action or activity led to a concerted effort by citizens, businesses, and the government to reduce air and water pollution. And the Kita-Kyushu city has been successful in overcoming the pollution. So from 1980s, utilizing this kind of experience, we have been engaged in environmental international cooperation. So next page. So these are some of the initiatives that Kita-Kyushu City is engaged in the area of the environment. So in the process of overcoming pollution, our city has built a foundation of environmental technologies That is the basis for the international deployment. Cleaner production, CP, and then end of pipe treatment. So environmental measures for industry, these kinds of technologies have been developed. Also, in Kitakyushu, the Eco Town was started in 1997, where a lot of environmental companies are aggregated or clustered together. So it's the first and largest such cluster in Japan. Every year, we receive 100,000 people visit to study about environmental technology and recycling technologies and various facilities. So automobiles, plastic bottles, recycling technologies are handled there. Those are the basic ones, but also PV panels and storage battery recycling are some of the technologies that we are recently working on. Now, Kitakyushu has developed as a heavy industry area, and so there is a cluster of industry that consumes a huge amount of energy. So technologies to have good control or management of energy has been developed, and that is another area where we provide a technological cooperation internationally. Also, technology in terms of water purification, both drinking water and sewage, has been accumulated, and we also provide that internationally. And now the city of Kitakyushu is utilizing its citizen power to promote the SDGs. In 2004, the city formulated the environmental capital grand design, not through administrative initiative, but through the consensus of the citizens. In 2017, the city formulated the basic environment plan, which includes the achievement of SDGs. So it's a pioneer among municipalities in Japan in terms of its efforts toward sustainable development. These efforts have won high praise domestically and internationally, including being selected as a model city for promoting SDGs by the OECD in 2018. Since the 1980s, we have been working on various initiatives. Now we have been accepting trainees and dispatching experts to Asian countries in collaboration with JICA. And in our city, in order to provide technical cooperation and the training, we established the KAITA, Kitakyushu International Techno Cooperative Association. So around this organization, we are active in a wide range of fields, dispatching experts and accepting trainees in areas such as water supply and sewage. So this was established in the 1980s, and over the past 40 years, we have cumulative experience of serving 10,000 people. So based on our track record of international cooperation in the environmental and the water fields, well, in Southeast Asia in the 2000s, emerging countries and developing countries, well, they started to become more developed. And so we felt the need to work on environmental improvement. And so in 2010, we established the Kitakyushu Asian Center for Low Carbon Society. And then 2 years ago, in January 2022, reflecting the recent move toward carbon neutrality, the name of the organization was changed to the Asia Center for Carbon Neutrality. So in Kitakyushu City, there are industry, government, and academia organizations. They've collaborated to provide 238 projects in 84 cities in 16 Asian countries. So let me talk about some specific projects.
Here is a project we're conducting in Summit Island in Thailand. It is actually a recycling of marine plastic waste. Tourism is what this island is doing. However, it's distant, so therefore they do have a challenge around waste treatment. The plastic waste that is generated is turned into fuel, oil, used by hotels as well as ships for tourism. And then for charcoal as well, which is the residue, is something that they're considering to use. UNEP is who we are working with in this project. So marine plastic waste and tourism are two areas that are being worked on together. Moving on to the next slide. Here's an example of Vietnam. It's in Haiphong, and it's the implementation of renewable energy. And this is again an island, and it is a tourist spot. It's Kat Toba Island, and a lead battery is being used. It's an independent power system that is being considered using the two. And so the energy that is stored is going to be used for EV cars for tourists on the island, and the storage as well as the utilization of the energy from the storage batteries are going to be used in tourism. So this will be a decarbonization model for Vietnam. Moving on to the next slide. Here is an example of Indonesia. In the city, there's a company who has soap technology. It's actually a firefighting agent that is easy on the environment. This is Indonesia, but we're doing something very similar for Thailand. And this is a big issue in Southeast Asia. Mountain fires and peat fires, but efficiently extinguishing those fires is very important with low load on the environment is what is being expected of this technology. So for peatland fires, as you know, once it's extinguished, within the peat, the fire remains and smoke continues to come out and contaminants are generated. And when you consider the overall peatland fire, it in fact emits greenhouse gas equivalent to that generated in Japan for the whole year. And so it is a major load on the environment, and that is the issue. And so a nature-friendly, efficient fire extinguishing system is being aimed for fire protection and resilience, as well as measures against global warming. And there are high hopes regarding this project. Moving on to the next slide. This is an example from Indonesia and the Philippines. And both of them relate to waste treatment. And for Surabaya, we are sister cities, and we have worked therefore with them for a long time. In Java, or rather in Indonesia, following Java, it follows Jakarta as a big city. And the Kita Kyushu experts have been dispatched to them to, in fact, promote the compost technologies to reduce the amount of waste brought into their disposal facilities, and 30% has been reduced through this Takakura method compost. And this compost is also being used for greening the community, and the communities are therefore greener now, and that is being highly appreciated in this project. And then in the Philippines, in Davao City, it's in Mindanao. It's the third largest city in the Philippines. In March of 2013, together with Philippines, we signed an ODA agreement. We are going to establish a waste power generation facility. Now, it's not just a system that they required in order to solve their waste issue. It needs to collect efficiently the waste. They need that system. And in fact, they need to get garbage in a form that is suitable for power generation. That is also important. And so the grassroots cooperation from JICA is being used. And from Kitakyushu City, we currently have a expert dispatched to develop the system and work on the surrounding environment together with the city of Davao so that we can establish this waste power generation facility. And we're working on the system, working on developing people, including the collection of waste. So that's an area of cooperation. Moving on to the next slide. This talks about Japan's waste containers and packages recycle system. And in Japan, because of the container and package recycle law, especially for plastics, when it's recycled, the producer pays for that cost for recycling. Now, outside Japan, when waste is gathered in disposal facilities, one of the factors there is the burden of cost not being worked out very clearly. In developing nations, especially in the Southeast Asian nations, when it comes to waste disposal, all of the responsibility belongs to the municipality. Collection, transportation, recycling, and also the final disposal. All of that is taken care of by the municipalities, which is a big burden, and therefore it's not very successful in terms of a model. And therefore, if something similar to Japan can be done to enlarge producers' responsibility or EPR for collecting and transporting and then recycling as well as some other areas. The roles of responsibilities can be worked out, and we need to make sure that there are roles and division of roles so that there are cost burdens over the various parties. Now, Kitakyushu is hoping to work this out, and we're therefore discussing matters with the relevant stakeholders to see if this can be pursued as a model. So moving on to the next page. In Kitakyushu City, well, of course, Kitakyushu City alone cannot do various international projects. So we work very closely with many international organizations. And we have been working very closely with, of course, JICA, but other organizations as well, as I have described here. UNIDO, the World Bank, the Bank, Japan Bank for International Cooperation, or JBIC, and UNIP, as well as JOIN. So we're working with these organizations to conduct seminars, workshops, as well as develop human resources through training. And we cooperate in projects, international projects outside Japan, and I hope that we'll be able to deepen these ties. And for that, we are in close contact. Next, this is the 2050 industrial park that Kitakyushu envisions. A circular economy and decarbonization both need to be achieved, and that was what we had in mind in picturing this. And as we try to roll this out, in Kitakyushu City, there have been zero emission results that we've achieved, and there's also zero carbon. But these are the two zeros that we're aiming for, and at the same time, we need to achieve economic growth as well as we try to realize this. Kitakyushu City, as well as cities outside Japan, we hope to see growth, and we hope to contribute as a city to achieve those growths. And with that, I would like to conclude the presentation for Kitakyushu City, and I thank you for your kind attention. Ms. Murakami, thank you very much. That was Kitakyushu City, climate measures at a global level and overseas projects were introduced. And water treatment, a zero emission, zero carbon, the two zeros being achieved for economic growth were points that she talked upon.
From MOEJ, Suga-san talked about city-to-city collaboration. And JICA, from October of last year, we have been involved in technical support to industrial park. So in those project, Eco Town project has been utilized of Kitakyushu. So Kitakyushu Sakai City, so this is being supported throughout Japan. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And now we would like to move on to Q&A session. So Suga-san, Yokouchi-san, and Murakami-san, we do have questions for each speaker. Let's start from Suga-san. At the very beginning, you explained that going forward, city-to-city collaboration will expand globally, and the roles to be played by cities will become all the more important. So the Japanese cities initiatives, what will be the strengths that cities can demonstrate? So Suga-san, if you could come to the podium, please, to take that question. Yes, thank you. I would like to respond, if I may. Thank you very much for the question. So at a high level, I believe there are two areas. One is, this was mentioned multiple times, but overcoming pollution. There is a history of experience of overcoming pollution, especially in the past. Maybe I was not born yet, but when I look back then, local government has led the effort in overcoming the pollutions. That's my understanding. So whether it be waste, the air pollution, many cities around the world are facing these challenges, and I do believe Japanese cities will be able to extend a great support in this regard. And also, often mentioned about waste is that Japanese cities are very clean, and people, the citizens of Japan, are very mindful about sorting their garbage and trash. And how can we go about realizing that? This is a frequently asked question. So yes, that's the point that we have reached now, but that was not the case in the past. So how did we make a shift to the current situation? Maybe there were several approaches taken. Maybe we started from separating in two, or maybe increased the categories of waste thereafter. And I'm sure there were failures as well. So disseminating our experiences will be another strength. And another part that we can make contribution is that cities are making efforts, and for instance, decarbonization was mentioned within my presentation as well, and carbon neutral or net zero. There are cities in Japan which are leading these efforts, and through this effort, having discussions with local stakeholders, not only about climate change, but they are overcoming local issues and problems as well. So sharing these stories will be a lot of benefit to other cities around the world. So not only one way, but I think mutual learning is another important aspect. Cities around the world are engaging in various initiatives, and I'm sure there are strengths and weaknesses of Japanese cities. And whereas cities outside of Japan, because of the context that they're in, they may be driving efforts in other directions. So I think we can mutually learn from each other. That's all. Thank you very much. So mutual learning and giving opportunities or providing those opportunities will be important. So next, Yokouchi-san. There's a question to Yokouchi-san. So Yokohama City, up to this point, the business and local city is working together to provide a package of these expertise and technical solutions that businesses have. So that's the strength. So in proceeding with city-to-city collaboration, are there any issues that you have realized? So Yokouchi-san, please come to the podium and respond. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much for the question. When it comes to city-to-city collaboration, the challenges that it may entail. So private sector companies, when they go outside of Japan, I'm sure they face business challenges as well. So Yokohama City, we are a local government, and when we try to drive city-to-city collaboration, so for instance, Da Nang, Cebu, and Bangkok, these cities are our partner cities. And some of the features and characteristics of collaboration with these cities are that we're cross-sector master plan that we create. So JICA is involved in putting together this multi-sector master plan, and Cebu Island of the Philippines, also with JICA, Mega 7 Vision. So this is a master plan for city development that we have developed. So it's a multi-sector, cross-division plans that we put together. So for instance, City of Yokohama, regarding climate change measures, we have a headquarter trying to combat heating as global warming. So we have other bureaus, of course, working on city planning and waste management and so forth. But at the same level, we have this bureau working on global warming. So, like Da Nang and Cebu, we first proposed to those cities to form such kind of division or a team or a bureau. And there is a climate change strategy division that was formed in Da Nang. And they created within their environmental ministry. So it was a bit different from Yokohama, where we have our bureau directly reporting to the mayor. And changing the organization is a challenge. It's not easy. But therefore, perhaps it was a step forward. In case of Bangkok, Mayor Chachat, he is very positive about countering climate change, and he demonstrates a strong leadership. So, along with leadership, creating an organization or team which can holistically look at that challenge or topic that the city faces. But of course, we have to think about the context that the city is in and the situation that the city is in to consider how to set up organization. So Cebu, so within Cebu district, there are 13 cities. So it's wide area effort. that has to be made. So Metro Cebu City Development Coordination Center was formed to coordinate the 13 cities. And the chief of all these 13 cities are forming this committee to liaise together. So that type of organization was put in place. So putting together the organization and in what form or in what way, it's difficult to decide. So I think good communication will be necessary with the city partners. So I believe that's the challenge. And with Da Nang, related to SDGs, we are pushing this effort. I hope I answered your question. Thank you. So the video that we will run later, the advisor to the mayor Chachat Prompon-san will be talking about their challenge. So our organizational structure is what was helpful to them based on Japan's experience. So I hope that you will be able to look at the video. So next, Murakami-san from Kita, Kyushu City. Zero emission and zero carbon. There was a wonderful concept to link the two, and as a city-to-city collaboration in working with developing countries, are there any areas where we need to pay attention to? Murakami-san, please. Yes, thank you very much for the question. At a city of Kita-Kyushu, yes, we have city-to-city collaboration, and so that we can work together, the stakeholders from both cities will be necessary. I think that's a desirable point. And when it comes to city-to-city collaboration concept, one of the cores is just providing technical solutions, embedding within the local community. This was quite difficult based on our past experience. So at Kita-Kyushu City, the waste treatment, this is a good example that we're working on. So waste to energy technology solution. So not installing those hardwares, but at the same time, we need to put in place the mechanism in the system so that we can leverage the solution and at the same time work on capacity building and continuing on because Japan will not extend support forever. So the current generation will have to have the capacity to develop the next generation of people. So such kind of a system and mechanism, how to put them together, will have to be decided, taking into consideration their context now. And Kita-Kyushu City, of course, have a long way to go, and we're pushing our effort while we're learning. So if there are examples that we can learn from, we would like to get those information. Thank you very much. Murakami-san, thank you. So we do have some time, but from developing country, there was a comment. So city-to-city collaboration of MOEJ and partnering with various cities and Yokohama and Kita-Kyushu are proactively engaged in city-to-city collaboration. That's wonderful. So there are regions outside of Asia, so hopefully if you could expand to outside of Asia. So that was a comment received. So This concludes our Q&A session. So thank you very much, everyone.